So if earlier you didn't get a chance to write these things down, let's take a second to write these down. So general arithmetic reasoning word problems, 3 things you're going to learn in today's class. Number 1, we're going to do our basic strategy. We always do this. We got to make sure we ingrain this in our heads. So as I always ask, if you've been to a class before, step number 1 with all word problems, go. Some people might use acronyms. Some people might spell it all out, but you're going to see some people say RTQ. Read the question first. We're going to go over this in detail in just the next slide, but essentially there's a basic 3-step process to every word problem. It changes a little bit depending on if you're using a formula or just keywords, but the overall strategy never changes. What do you want? What do you have? What's the connection? You're going to hear me say this a million times in today's class, and you're also going to see it presented in every single practice problem that we do. So trust me, I'm going to make sure that this is ingrained in your head. But that's number 1. The main thing we got to go through, word problem basic strategy. Number 2, what we're going to go over after that is how to basically read problems like a story. And this is a major, major, major skill to have. So let me prove a point here. Everyone, number 1, first question. Typically, is it easier to remember the fun times that you had versus things that were boring? Just in general, is it easier to remember the fun events that you had versus the boring days? Right? You know, if you only went to Disney one time in your whole life, you're probably going to remember that for the whole life, you know, barring external circumstances, but you're probably going to remember that your entire life. So let's kind of think about this in terms of how we can just plug this into math. So many people treat math word problems like it's just X and Y and operations and variables, and they don't actually see the application or the stories behind these problems. One thing I'm going to challenge you to do today is try to see the story behind the problem. Because if we can work on separating a story by its beginning, by its middle, and by its end, between those 3 parts, we're going to have a much easier time when it comes to laying out the plan to solve the problem. Because if you know how the beginning gets to the middle and how the middle gets to the end, all you need to know is what you're looking for. Are you looking for what happened in the beginning, something about the process in the middle, or am I looking for the result? If you know how to build that connection and where what you're looking for is, bam, you just give yourself the best advantage ever, because you'll know the exact math to do, how to do it, and you'll fly right through it. Yes or no, did that make any sort of sense for anybody out there? Right on. And so for anybody out here who's live in class right now, asking about getting the link for the class again, for the free class, go ahead and click that link at the top left. You'll see a little shield. You can copy the Zoom link and send it over to whoever, to yourself if you need to log in from another account. But lastly, my party people, we're going to be going over in this class these unique questions where they're going to look very, very, very similar to each other, but you're going to have to pay attention to the details of the story. But number 2, when we get the chance to, either at the end of today's class or for part 2 in tomorrow's class, we're going to be going over these very unique questions. And I'm going to ask this question, and I'm going to see if anybody here can answer this for me instantly. Today is Monday. That's correct. What day will it be 150 days from now? Who can answer that instantly for me? If today is Monday, which it is, what day will it be 150 days from now? Some people are saying Monday, some people are saying Tuesday. Well, here's the thing. The answer is going to be Thursday. So I'm going to teach you how to do a problem like that in tomorrow's class for sure. Hopefully we can get to that at the end of today's class. But if you're thinking about it like, oh, well, if I just count the days, 1 day is Tuesday, 2 is Wednesday, 3 is Thursday, and you keep going and going and going all the way through 150, that's the worst way to do the problem. It might be the only way that you know, but it's also the worst way that you probably only know. And I'm going to show you a way to do that problem literally in 2 seconds or less, because that's what's called a modulus question. And those are pretty common, and they're actually pretty easy once you know the pattern. So we'll talk about that. Yeah, that you could call that a trick question, but the only reason that it's a trick question is because there's two ways to solve it. One extremely long way that's somewhat barbaric, and it preys on people, students who aren't prepared for it. And then there's the quick way when you know the logic behind the question. So I'm going to teach you those things in this class and in part 2. So really get excited, man, because it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to basically shift the balance of power, for those of you that are feeling like the ASVAB is against you. I'm going to make sure I give you a little more power. So let's go ahead and get this in here. Here are our main notes. General word problems. Here we go. So I'm going to really outline these 3 main steps. And in yellow, we have our 4th step, which really isn't even a step. It's more like a clearance. It's more like okay, here's a blessing. You're good to go now. But here's the thing. The first part of every question, no matter what, is to read the question first. I am not talking about the problem. I'm not talking about the first sentence. I'm talking about the question sentence. So if you're reading a problem that goes like this, period, 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 question mark. So if your question looks like this, guys, I do not want you to start reading this question from here. Okay, Sally and Angel both had blah, 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 blah. No, I don't care about that. You don't care about Sally and this person or that person until you know why you're here to begin with. And you know why you're here to begin with by reading the question, which is a little ironic because to understand why you're there to begin with, you have to go to the end of the question first. A little counterintuitive, but it's truly the way that it should be. When you know why you're supposed to be doing something, it's a lot easier to do it. So this is the part that you want to read. Boom, boom. The part that contains the question mark. That's where you snap your attention first. Yes or no, everybody, does that make sense? Start the question off by understanding why you're here to begin with. Read the question first. So any sentence, that question sentence, if it has a question mark on it, obviously that's the question sentence. But also look out for those action words like who, what, when, where, how many, which of the following, how long did it take? Those are very clear key words that define a question. If you see the word if, make sure that you tag whatever information they give you with the word if with the question sentence. But it's not what you're looking for. It's just additional information. If we get to a question like that, which I'm sure we will, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Don't worry. So, number 1, again, read the question first. Why am I here? Now, now that you know why you're here, okay, I got to figure out how many total watermelons. Think about it like this. If someone tells you, hey, Coach Anderson, you're going to walk into this situation, you got to find the total number of watermelons. Okay. That means before I even open the door, I know that I'm going to be paying attention to watermelons, and I got to figure out how many of them there are. Great. Okay, let's think about another question. If I said, hey, before we go in, you're going to have to find out how many hours it'll take for these 2 cars to be 100 miles apart. Okay, cool. Before I even open the door and read the problem, I know we're talking about 2 cars. I'm looking for how long, how many hours. Okay, looking for time. And they're going to be 100 miles apart, already given a distance. So with enough practice, you can already tell that's a distance, rate, time problem. I didn't give you any other information. All I gave you was the question sentence. Some questions give you enough information like that. Some questions are enough no matter what to just give you the story. But either way, read the question first, because once you know why you're there, now it's time to open the door. And now that your mind is already trained on how many watermelons or the 2 cars and distance, rate, time, you open that door and now you're looking for a rate, 2 rates, whatever information you need here. Here you're looking for anything you have to do with watermelons. And that's where you start writing your information down. What the information is, the numbers, and including their meanings. Also a very, very big part of the problem. So one more time, step 2, make sure that you write down the information and the meanings. So if you're going to write the word 5 down, don't just write 5, write down that it says 5 watermelons. If you're going to write down the number 43, Don't just write 43, write the 43 miles per hour. Everybody, yes or no, do you see what I'm saying here? The meaning of the information is important. And for those of you that have a little bit of trouble when it comes to just keeping a cool head when it comes to weird numbers, remember that the numbers can change, but the process doesn't. Let me give you an example. If you had the problem that said, hey, how many watermelons are in the room? And you see that it says 3 watermelons and 5 watermelons. Okay, 3 plus 5 is 8. That's 8 watermelons. I could have given you 7 and 12 watermelons. Okay, 19. I could have given you 29 and 30. Okay, that's 59. No matter what, in every single situation, I did the same thing. I added the watermelons up. The numbers didn't matter. Their meaning mattered because you knew you were going to add up all the watermelons. So no matter what number they gave you for watermelons, you knew you were going to add. So this is why I'm talking about or placing as much importance as I am on writing the meaning of the information, because it's about telling a story. Tell the story properly, the rest does itself. So step 2, write the information and its meaning down. Number 3, once you understand what you're looking for and you've laid out the information that's given to you, this is where you're going to string together how these pieces of information all interact. Typically, you want to focus on surrounding the information that you have around the question you were given. How do all these pieces fit around this piece of information? Once you can build that connection, you're good. Because once you have a solid plan, whether it's a distance rate time formula or just simple addition with watermelons, once you know what the connection is and what the plan is, this is your clearance or your, kind of blessing to go ahead and actually calculate. So notice how this is at the end. I know it seems crazy, make a plan, but notice how at the end, then you can calculate. There is no point, and I'm going to say this a million times today, there's no point in calculating any numbers if you are not sure of how it's supposed to get you the correct answer. Has anybody here ever caught themselves in a practice problem or practice test, confused on a word problem, and you just started grabbing the numbers in the problem, started adding them, subtracting them, multiplying them, dividing them? Man, you started singing the spaghetti song, just throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something still stick. And if you see the answer in the answer choices that is the addition or subtraction or multiplication, you just say, oh, won't he do it? And you circle it and you move on. Does that sound like you? Yeah, so that might sound like some of y'all, right? That might sound like a few people in here. And it looks like it might sound like half of y'all in here, and that's okay. But the thing is, that's what these tests are designed to do. They're designed to kind of break you in terms of your confidence. If you're not sure about how to do something, they're betting that you're going to try to do something basic, like just add them, just multiply the numbers, and they'll put an answer like that in the choices to try to trick you. So if you don't know what you're doing, you might get tricked into thinking that you know what you're doing, which is not a good thing. Make sure you know the plan first before you touch any numbers at all. Because even if you're going to calculate the right way, multiply them the right way, add them the right way, it doesn't matter if you know how to calculate correctly if you don't have the right setup. If you set it up the wrong way, even if you did the calculations correct, you're still wrong. So don't risk it. Don't calculate until you know the exact steps. Yes or no? Are we good on that? Because we're getting ready to practice. Yeah, and even if you say sometimes, like, look, as you get better at this and better and better and better, there's going to be less talk in your head in terms of what's actually going on in the problem. Eventually, with enough practice, you'll go straight to the question without even thinking about it. You'll pull the keywords. You'll find the relevant information. You'll build the plan. And then you say, calculate. And it just happens. But it comes with practice. So let's go ahead and take a look here at our very first practice problem of the day. So that day is going to be lit. Absolutely will. Trust me. We've had plenty of students get there, and there's plenty on the way. In the program, I'm looking at you guys' progress. I'm making graphs and showing day-to-day progress on y'all. Insane, man. You guys are just doing a crazy job right now, and I'm proud of y'all. So here we go, my party people. First of all, Emily has $204.83. James has $189.49. Jeffrey has Akila. Why did you just scream no in the chat box? What's going on, Akila? What did I do? What did I do? Right? Let's not play around. This ain't a Dora the Explorer episode. I didn't read the question first. I started reading the problem, and I'm gonna allow myself to get tricked by this information. Think about it like this, everybody. This is why I tell you not to start with the problem. So many people start doing this. Emily has, oh, that's a decimal. I'm not really feeling too good about that. James has, oh man, I know that's a big number. That's 5 decimals. That's 5. Oh no. Baby needs some milk. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, what's the problem about? Okay, what's the cost of the vacation? What vacation? Pool. What about a pool? They're gonna go swimming. And then this is how you really psych yourself out. Has anyone ever experienced something similar to what I just showed right there? Hey, Seth, text me on the side about that glitch. I'll fix it up right up for you, man. I got you. Okay, cool. And I'm glad you guys are being honest, because remember, for me to be your ASVAB coach and help you succeed, we want to make sure that we're just being honest. So you don't want to put yourself in that position to fail, to get tricked by the numbers. What are you even scared about these numbers for? Do you know what you're supposed to do with them? Do you know if that's even important information? Sometimes there is extra information. Start with what you need to figure out. That way you know if that's important or not and what needs to be done with it, as opposed to looking at it as just some scary decimal. Okay? Let's get this done. So step 1, read the question. What do you want? Here we go. It says, what is the cost of the vacation? Everybody, is it okay to say from this red highlight that no matter what, at the end of the day, what we want to figure out is the amount of money that this vacation is worth? Is that true? Right, step number 1, we're going to be saying, hey, vacation equals some money, blank, right? This equals some money. Okay, sounds good. So at the very least, no matter what, at the beginning of the problem, you know what you're supposed to be finding out. Now that you know where you're supposed to be looking for, like what direction, let's try to aim. Let's see what information we have now that we at least know where we're generally supposed to be going. Here we go. Here's where we're going to write down our information. What do we have? So over here, let's go. So we're talking about a vacation. And really what I would like to kind of emphasize with y'all is there's 2 ways to go about this. Some people like to write all of the numbers that they see from start to finish, and other people like to go ahead and play off of the keyword. Everyone, what's the keyword that I'm going to be searching for in the problem right now? What's the keyword I'm going to be searching for based off of the question? Not cost, vacation. That's the one word. That's the one word I wrote down, vacation. So some people are just going to go from the very beginning, just write every single number down, write its meaning. But some people do keyword-based, basically, you call it just skimming. So keyword-based skimming is a very nice strategy to employ because it's like spoon-feeding yourself the information little by little. I only care about the vacation. Oh, if that's not giving it to me directly, then I'll look for the other pieces that connect to it. So watch this. Emily has this, James has that, Jeffrey has that. I don't care. They like to pull their money together. They're going on vacation. Okay, there it is. So they're going to pull their money together to go on a vacation, but only have 1/2 of the amount that they need. Okay, boom. So this is a strategy that a lot of people like to employ. Again, they go off of the keywords because you're looking for vacation. And my only question is, how am I going to get there? And everybody, do you agree with me if I say that in number 2, the information that I'm writing down, I can write they only have half of the vacation. Is that fair to say? Is that a truthful statement that we can understand? So now that we have an agreement here, and I'm going to wait a couple more moments because I know some people have somewhat of a time delay. So I'll give you a moment there. But now that we know this one piece of information, everybody, we know how to solve this problem. And if you didn't know that, don't worry. Just put your pencil down for a moment and kind of follow along in terms of the logic that I'm about to use. Everyone, is it true that because we know that they, as in the friends here that we're talking about, Emily, James, and Jeffrey, is it true that because we know that they only have half of the vacation, if we knew how much they had together, we could find out how much the vacation is? Is it true that if we knew how much they have, we can get to the vacation because of the relationship here, half? There's a relationship there. There's a numerical relationship. So if I have how much they have, I can get to the vacation. How we're going to get there, we're going to talk about that in a moment. I got to make sure you know how to use your math the right way for the keywords. But that's one way to deal with it. Here's another way where it's just writing down the information. This is something that a lot of other people like to do. They kind of just skim through the problem and just make sure to write down everything that's important. So right here, if it has a number on it, write down the number and the meaning. Emily right there, James right there, Jeffrey right there. So here we go. Emily, I'm going to write her down, 204.83. Let me just scroll down just a little bit there. Then we have ourselves James, 189.49. And then we have ourselves Jeffrey. And Jeffrey has 221.18. Okay, great. Boom. So, my party people, we're here. And so, here's what we know. We know that we have these three friends. They're trying to go on a vacation. They don't have enough. They actually only have half of what they need. So, everybody, to figure out the cost of the vacation, if what they have right now is only half, what do we need to do to what they have to get to the vacation? What do we need to do? Be specific. If you say add what? If you say multiply what? Be specific, be specific, be specific. Give it your best shot. Again, I'm not here grading you for the ASVAB. I'm not your grader. I'm just here to help you get better here. Come on. So again, my question was, if what they have is only half of that vacation, what do we need to do to what they have to get to the vacation? There, now we're starting to get some more diverse answers. All right. Good. So let's talk about this here, my party people. And if you're a little late, don't worry. We got plenty of practice to go. So here's a nice little example that I can give you, everybody, to make sure that this makes sense for all parties involved. So let me use an example. My example is going to be using Whitney. So Whitney, welcome into class. It's okay that you're late, no worries. But Whitney, let me just make let's use you for a nice example. So Whitney, let's say in my pocket, I have $10, but I only have half of what you have. Whitney, what do I need to do to my money to make it the same as your money? If I have $10 and I have half of what you have, what do I do to my money to get to your money? What do I need to do? And by what amount? What operation and by what amount? So Dominic says multiply by 2. Multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2, and that is correct. Because if you think about the way that I said it, I am halfway to you. So that means if you reverse the logic, I have twice as much to go. So double it to get to the final amount. If I'm halfway there, I double what I have to get there. So we have to be able to read these stories and understand which way it's being read to know how to get from one point to the other. In this case, to go from they to the vacation, you need to times 2 to get to the vacation. And so let's find out what they have together here. This can be done with quick addition, mental math, whichever way you want to employ. I'm going to go through it the regular way. I'm going to line up my decimals, and I'm going to go through it. We're going to say 3 plus 4 plus 8, or excuse me, 3 plus 9 plus 8. Thank you. That's 12, 20 right there. Then we're going to go ahead and add these up. 10, 14, 15. You have yourself that 5. Carry the 1. Then from there, 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 9 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Then we just keep adding 1, 9, 11. One more time, 3, 4, 6. Boom. So we have 6, 15, 50. We have that for the students or the 3 kids together. So again, remember everybody, what we just said in this problem was that, hey, the amount that they have together, that's only half of what they need. So if they're halfway there with $615.50, everybody hit me. What do we do to that $615.50 to get the final answer? I saw a lot of y'all already said the answer there. Say it again. Yeah, we have to multiply by 2 because, again, they only have half of what they need. They need the full amount. So if they're only half the way full or halfway there, double it. To get from 50% to 100%, you times by 2. So let's get there, multiply by 2, and we'll do that right over here. Boom. And everybody, when multiplying by a decimal, just ignore the decimals, and then we bring them back at the end. So let's get through it right here. 0 times 2 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1 is 11. 1 times 2 is 2. Carry the 1 is 3. And then 6 times 2 is 12. So we used up 2 decimal places right here. So we'll bring 2 back, and we have $1,231 total dollars. That's the cost of the vacation for these 3 folks together. And we have that as answer choice A. But regardless of the final answer, I want to know if you got the process here. So yes or no, who here was able to understand the process before they actually started calculating? Yes or no? Who here was able to understand the process before they actually calculated? And what I mean by that is, were you able to tell that you needed to add up those 3 numbers to get the cost that they, or the amount of money that they have? And since that's half of the vacation, we will double it to get the full amount. So were you able to know what to do before actually calculating? Yeah, and that's definitely the hard part. So be honest. I'm expecting a lot more no's and guesses here. I'm not looking for anybody to, tickle my ego. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for you to be honest with you. When you're answering me in these classes, the chat is not recorded. So you can be as honest as you possibly can be with me. That way we can make sure that you know where you're at, what you need to do to elevate yourself to the next level, and then get there. So be honest. I see. So some of us were having a little bit of trouble understanding that we were supposed to multiply by 2 and not divide by 2 or multiply by half. And that comes with, again, understanding your keywords. That comes to understanding your keywords. Because the way that you get to the vacation is doubling the money that they have because they're halfway. Because together they only have half, you got to double it to get to the full vacation. So once you had that relationship in your head, boom, then get those numbers together, do your thing, have fun. Yeah, I'm glad that it feels like common sense. For those of you that are saying that it's feeling like common sense, I'm glad. And so one more time, the reason that we multiplied by 2 is because, again, the amount of money that Emily, James, and Jeffrey had was only half of what they needed for the full vacation. So what we needed to do was take the money that they had, double it, because halfway means if you are one of 2 pieces, you are 1 out of 2 away. So to get from 1 to 2, double it to get both. To get both. 1 out of 2 pieces to get both pieces, double to get to the full amount. If it would have said, everybody, 1/4, if it would have said that the amount of money they had only amounts to 1/4 of the full vacation, what do we do with their money to get to the full vacation? If it said that they have 1/4, Kai, that's right, multiply by 4. Because if you're at 1 out of the full 4 pieces you need for the fraction, you multiply by 4 to get to the full thing. So I really hope that sort of kind of makes sense. It really depends on the keywords and the storyline of the problem. So with that said, I hope that was exciting, even a little bit, because what we're going to do, I'm going to let you take a screenshot here really quick. I'll let you use 5 seconds to take a screenshot. And while you take your screenshot, we're going to go ahead and introduce another problem right after this. And it's going to be a different scenario. It might be a problem that is not money related, but it has to do with being able to tell a story. So here's your smile. I tried talking with this earlier, it didn't work. But there you go. And now we're going into the next practice problem here. Hey, Whitney, I heard you there. Go ahead and shoot me a text and an email after class. I'm going to make sure that you get sent everything to the correct email. I got you. So let's take a look at this next one. My party people. So everybody, what's the first thing that you should be writing down on your piece of paper? One word. If you had to write one word or 2 words down on your piece of paper, what would you write down? Blake, I was just messing around. So what is the first thing? No, I mean, we know at this point the first step is to read the question. I'm not asking you for that. I'm asking you, I'm going to give everybody 10, 15 seconds here. If you had 10 seconds to read the problem, what is the 1 or 2 words that you would write down to help you understand what's going on or what you need to figure out? Go. 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1, time. What is the one thing that you would write down about this problem right now? Go. I see people are saying floor, what floor finish, add, subtract, the number meaning the question is being asked at the end, plans, mail run, what floor packages, what floor, the plan, blank floor, mail run. Yeah, this is great. This is great. Yeah, Blake, the floor finished, bruh. But with that, yeah, no, this is a very, very, very good start. Remember that the first thing you want to do in any word problem is write down what you want, what the question's asking you to figure out. So you want to be able to do that in a short phrase or less. So for me, and this is what I want you to employ, I really do invite you guys to think about word problems like this. Go straight to the question sentence. Again, that question mark right there tells you that's the question sentence. And it says, on what floor did Sharon finish their mail run? Sounds good. So I'm going to say finished on blank floor. Right there, a short phrase or less. So I know earlier I was saying 1 or 2 words, but really, let me just correct myself. What I mean is a short phrase or less. Sometimes it's as easy as just saying X equals blank. Other times it might be a little more lengthy, like this, and saying finished on the blank floor. But either way, everybody, does using this kind of preparation, using this kind of presentation help you understand what the question's about? Finished on the blank floor. It means that you're looking for a floor of a building or something. Right? Get yourself into the story. Get yourself into the story. That's the most important thing about word problems, guys, because if you understand the story, you understand the math. It's a lot easier to build those connections. So with that, that's number 1. We finished on the blank floor. Now, number 2, let's take a look at the information that we're given. So let's just go through here. And again, your main goal, something about a mail run and floor levels. Let's see what the whole situation is about here. So if I see a number, I don't really care about writing it down instantly. I really want to know what's happening with that number. So let me give you an example right here. So Sharon works in a corporate building delivering packages to recipients on different floors. If you have to reread a sentence, that's totally okay. Sharon works in a corporate building. So think about a big building. Sharon works there. Sounds great. She delivers packages to recipients on different floors. So Sharon works in a building delivering packages. She goes up and down all day. Everybody, is that understandable? Is that a story you can imagine? If you've seen Elf, there you go. If you've seen the movie Elf, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, either way, it's fine. Because, boom, we now have the setting. We have the context. This person's delivering mail up and down in the building, and we're trying to figure out what floor they ended up on. What information do we now have? We see that starting from level 84, she goes up 14 floors, up 19 floors, down 8 floors, and up 1 floors. Should say floor. I'll correct that grammar in my program. But there it is. So let's write that information down. We have the starting point, 84th floor, and then we see up 14 floors, up 19 floors, down 8 floors, and then up again 1 floor. So with that, now that we're here, everybody, and we have the information, what do we need to do? What's the connection? So Lewis says add and subtract. I see some people saying adding, but Kai and Lewis both said add and subtract. So are we going to be adding certain numbers and subtracting certain numbers? What does that mean to you, my party people? What do you mean? Which of these numbers would we be subtracting? Which of these numbers would we subtract? So there it is. There it is. You have now intuitively shown me that you know how word problems work. Because you have opposite directions here, one direction has to be positive, one direction has to be negative. So some of y'all intuitively said, hey, if we're going up on the elevator, you're adding floors. If you're going down on the elevator, you're subtracting floors. So let's just keep it nice and simple. If we're going up, you add. If you're going down, you subtract. Everyone, do you agree with that logic and math there? Starting from the 84th floor, we'll add if we're going up, subtract if we're going down. Great. Sounds good. Let's go ahead and get it done here. So here we go. I'm going to use green here. So everybody starting from the 84th floor. If you go up 14, where do we end up? Where do we end up? 84 plus 14. Thank you for the quick math there, my party people. That is 98. 98th floor. Then going up 19. So it's going to be adding 19 floors. So 98 plus 19. Everybody, what is that? Quick. You should get 117. If you want to do your mental math super quick, here's a nice way, a quick way that you can do this. Some people will be carrying ones all day. You don't have to. 98 is 2 away from getting to 100. So in your head, you can turn 98 plus 19, balance it out. If I'm going to add 2 over there, I got to take 2 away to balance it out. But that's 100 plus 17. That's 117 in your head fairly quickly, just like that. 98 plus 19 is the same as 100 plus 17. That's a lot easier because adding from 100, it's just zeros. Makes life a lot easier. But just a quick pause for the mental math. But now that we're at the 8, going down 8 floors, what did we say we would do? Right, we would subtract the 8. So now that we're here, let's go ahead and subtract the 8. And that's going to give us what? 109. Right there, booyah. And now that we're here, we're going to go up 1 floor. So 109 plus 1, that's going to give us what? 110. Booyah. And that is the final floor that we end up on, level 110. Boom, level 110. And again, a fairly seemingly unique problem can be turned into a problem that's very manageable, very doable, but we just have to make sure that we understand the goal of the question and what's going on in the story that can be used to figure out that information. Yes or no, everybody? Does that feel understandable to you? Does this feel like something you can work with as we do more and more practice problems? Good. I'm glad. All right, perfect. So remember, everybody, please make sure to continue directing questions in the chat box. If I just so happen to miss your question, please make sure to post it again in the Zoom chat or in the YouTube chat, because again, I want to make sure I reach everybody. And again, if I missed it, just until I answer it, keep going. Oh, we'll get harder questions. I got you. So for this next one, I'm going to give you a chance to try this next one on your own. Now, I want to give you a timer here of just about 2.5 minutes, just around the amount of time you'll get on the ASVAB Arithmetic Reasoning. but I want to see just this. And this next question, I don't care if you get the question right or wrong. I don't care about that. I only care about your ability to employ the strategies. Can you make sure that you're employing the strategies and give yourself the best chance of success? Because if not, you're going to be put in a situation where you're going to be guessing, thinking that you have to do this operation when it's really this, or just generally just overthinking things and second guessing yourself. We don't want that. If you follow the strategy, what do you want? What do you have? What's the connection? Right there, you can see it. What do you want? What do you have? What's the connection? Top left corner. If you do that every single time, the more you do it, word problems get easier. To prove a point, everybody who's been in my program for a while now and has been using the strategy, do you yes or no generally feel like word problems have gotten easier for you? Again, it's everybody in my program who's in here answering the question. Again, it takes time, but the more you practice that strategy, you'll see that these formulas and these main ideas naturally just fit in once you learn those concepts. So here's the timer. Let's get that up. Let me get this going for 2.5 minutes. Perfect. Then let me get the timer right here. So if you haven't taken a screenshot yet, go ahead and do so. Let's get through this question number 3. And after this, we're going to be doing drill sets for the rest of class here, where we're going to be having 2 minutes per question, doing multiple problems at a time to give you that test level feel. So let me get my ugly face out of the way. Start the timer. 3, 2, and 1. Let's get it, my party people. And remember not to share the answer until I say ready. So please do not share your answers. Just type ready when you're ready. Just type ready when you're ready. And looking at our final 3, 2, and 1. Hit those answers up. And no problem at all, Jalen. No problem at all. I always appreciate any student who can make time to get better at their ASVAB scores. So don't worry about being a little late. Not a problem. So let's go ahead and have some fun, my party people. Let's go ahead and go over this last one before we get into our drill sets for the day. So here we go. I see a lot of people have some different answers here. We got some A's, some B's, some D's, some C's. Not really any C's here. And again, if you haven't shared an answer, just share one as a guess if you have to guess. But let's get into what's really more important. And again, it's not about saying like, oh yeah, I got number 3 right. No, man, it's about being like, oh man, number 3, I remembered that problem was about finding the leftover of a total, and I had to subtract. And I remember that to get there, you had to find the total amount and the beginning amount, so you can take the difference, and that's how you got it done. Now, that second explanation, even though you don't know the context, I didn't say anything about the story, even though this person went through the solution in their head, they have pretty much given themselves this much more of an advantage over that last person for every problem they try to explain to themselves. If you're the type of person who studies and they get a question right or get a question wrong, they move on, versus the person that stays with the problem, even if they get it right, to make sure they know how to explain it, this person goes 10 times further than this person. And it's been proven time and time and time again. So let's go ahead and get through it. And remember that I want you to pay attention to the reasons why. Step number 1, read the question right over here. How much money does Michael have if Sharon has $148.34? Sounds good. First things first, everybody, if there's a word or a short phrase that we wanted to write down here immediately, what would it be for you? What's the one thing we're looking for here? Come on, in the red highlight. So yeah, we're getting away from that RTQ. Like, we know it's going to be reading the question. I'm already implying that. What phrase are you writing down because you read the question? Right, Michael's money. How much money does Michael have? So if you want to shorten it, you want to condense it, you want to say something like, Michael equals blank dollars, or Mike has blank dollars. Either way, that's fine, because what you're implying is that you're looking for the amount of money that Michael has. That's really what it's all about. Can you rephrase the question to show that you understand what you're looking for? So if it's saying, how much money does Michael have? That means we're looking for the amount of money that Michael has. Cool. Number 2, information. So we know that Sharon has $148. So I'm just going to write that down. 148.34. Now notice, everybody, we don't know exactly what we need to do yet. Don't freak out if it's not obvious at first. Take a second, write the information down, and see the relationships. Next up, what else do we have here? I see that it says Sharon and Michael realized their total savings for a purchase was short by $153.26. Okay. So their total savings, so Sharon and Michael, their total was short by $153.26. So Sharon plus Michael are short that much money. And it says that they needed this much money to make their purchase. Okay, let me write that. That's pretty interesting. Let's talk about how this lines up. Let's take a second to talk about this real quick. They needed this much money to make the purchase. So let's kind of work through the story here. It sounds like to me that Sharon's money and Michael's money together, they needed this much more money, the $153. So if you have Michael and Sharon, they still needed the $153 to get to that total amount, to get to that 563.43. Everyone, is that fair to say? So let me actually write this down to show you exactly what I mean. So move this around a little bit. So Sharon and Michael are short 153.26 to get 563.43 total. Is that a fair assessment or a fair statement? Sharon, Michael, and the extra 150 that they're missing, together, that would make up the total that they need. Yes or no? Do you agree or disagree? So the amount of money Sharon, Michael have, and that $150 together would be what they need, that total. So really what we need to do again is play through that logic. And if you want to, you could make an equation. You could make an equation like this. You could say Sharon plus Michael plus the 153. So again, this is all their money. plus the 153.26. Everybody, those three things together are supposed to equal a 1 again. What's it supposed to equal? The 563.43. And this is not the only way you can set this problem up. Again, as long as you're writing a truthful mathematical sentence or an equation, you're fine. Like you really, truly are fine. So let's go over the logic one more time because we're going to solve this next. But I don't care about solving this if you don't understand how we got here. So let's understand how we got here one final time and we'll calculate. So again, reading the story just from here. Sharon and Michael, they realized that their total savings, so what they have together, was short by this amount. So that sentence already tells you that Sharon plus Michael plus this much, that's what they need. All that together is what they need. But they don't have the 153.26. But if they did have it, Sharon, Michael, and that 153 makes up a total of $563 for whatever it is they're trying to buy. So before I continue, yes or no, are you completely on board before we move on? Yes or no, are you on board before we move on and solve this bad boy here? Cool. Again, I really want to make sure I explain this nice and smooth for us here. So here we go. To solve this, everyone, whose amount do we know so far? Is it Sharon or Michael? Quick. Who do we know? Who do we know? Sharon and what money? What should we replace Sharon with then? 148.34. That's right. 148.34. So we're good there. I'm going to replace Sharon with 148.34 plus Michael plus the 153.26 equals all of this, right? So I'm going to go scroll down just a little bit here. 563.43. Now, what do I do first here, everybody? What should we do first? Right. Thank you, Whitney. We can go ahead and add this. Marie Luce, go ahead and shoot me a text. Stay till the end of class. I'll give my contact information to address that specific issue. I'm happy to help you out with your situation. So let's get back to this. Let's focus here. But here, yeah, we can definitely add this up. Whitney pointed out, we can just add these like terms here. 148.34 and the 153.26. We could add those together. Those are like terms on the same side. Add them on up. So let's see what they are. Okay, let's add these up here. So here we go. We have ourselves 4 plus 6. That's going to be 10. Just make sure that lines up. So it's going to be 10. Carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. 8 plus 3 is 11. That's going to be 10. And that's going to be 3. So we have ourselves 301.60. So we have 301.60. Type the word confirm if you did the math with me and you confirm the amount. Type the word confirm if you can confirm that amount. Perfect. Sweet. Looks like I'm not as bad at math as I thought I was. So looks like we're good here. So we have Michael plus 301.60. So we just underline both of these. 301.60. That's what's going to equal that 563.43. So now that we have this, my party people, what's the last thing we're supposed to do? If the amount of money that Michael has plus that $300 gives you the 560, what is the backwards step that we take to find out how much Michael has? If you add that much to Michael, you get the 563. Do the opposite to solve the equation and subtract. But I don't like lazy folks. Come on, subtract both sides by what? That's right. Subtract 301.60 from both sides. Both sides. Not just the 563, but from both sides. So minus 301.60 minus 301.60. Boom. That's going to cancel out on the left, leaving you with Michael equals, and look at this. A lot of people might be looking at this and saying, man, coach, we got to borrow. Oh, man, this is going to suck. Well, you can use mental math tricks to really get this to a much easier problem. because what I can do here is this. 500 minus 300 is 200. So 263 minus 1, 262. So then 262, 43 minus 60. Boom. So if that's already 262, well, guess what? That's 261.83. Done. And again, with mental math knowledge, you can get that done fairly quickly. You have everything you need to destroy mental math, especially with the math basics course. Has anybody here gotten to the decimal section, unit 4, the decimal section of the math basics course yet? Has anybody here gotten to that yet? I know a handful of y'all have gotten to it. It's about halfway through the math basics course. But if you've been on it, how are you feeling after going through it? Do you feel like you're faster or more confident handling decimals? For those of you who have used it, do you feel more confident handling decimals? Joshua, Socorro, Ron, Giovanni, yes. Whitney, right on. So that's what it's all about. It's about being able to look at stuff like this and being like, I got this. Man, ain't no thing. Like, that's really what it's all about. So there it is. There's my answer. 261.83. Boom, 261.83. And we're set. So who feels pretty good about this one? Who feels pretty good about their ability to solve something like this if they see it again? And notice how this is very similar to the first problem we did, except it's still money, but the way that the story was arranged was a little different. And that's how every problem in today's class is. The stories are going to be different. You're going to see similar elements, but you ultimately have to look at the keywords. You've got to rely on your ability to tell a story. Good. Oh, yeah, for sure. There's definitely another way to solve that. Definitely a way to solve that. But oh yeah, and Amari, if you ignored any numbers without understanding how they apply, then yeah, you may have gotten B as well. Yeah, B was the trick answer. Yeah, B was the trick answer. If you just did 563 minus the 148, yeah, you would have gotten tricked for sure. Yep. So with that said, here is our goal right now. We're gonna go ahead and get into practice time now. We have drill sets coming up, which is perfect because right now it is 7:17. So who here would think it's awesome if we had a chance to get through a total of 20 practice questions? Yeah, right on. So here's what we're going to do. Here's how this is going to work, everybody. These are called drill sets. So I typically only do these on Tuesdays, but I'm going to go ahead and since it's the new year, we're going to go ahead and pop the new year off with drill sets in our first class of the year. So essentially what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to give you 2.5 minutes per question. Again, that's 2 minutes, 30 seconds. I'm going to give you 2.5 minutes per question. Now, what I expect is this. I expect you to go through your progression. What do you want? What do you have? What's the connection? I expect you to do exactly as we did. Write a quick phrase down for the question sentence. That's step one. So here, use a quick phrase or an equation like Michael equals blank money or Michael has blank dollars. Either way, a quick phrase or an equation, either way, but write it down instantly. Represent what you're looking for. Quick phrase for the question. Then, what do you have? You have to write down your information plus meaning. So if it's $50 or if it's just 50 what? $50, 50 beavers, 50 toys, what? What are you talking about, right? Write down the information and its meaning and lay it all out. Because when it's time to make the connection, basically, this is before you calculate. This is the last step before calculating. Last step before calculating. Whoops. Like this is how you're going to get yourself ultimately to that ultimate set of confidence, really, like where you feel comfortable being timed. We want to feel comfortable being timed. Remember that this is if this is your first time being timed, it's okay to feel nervous because it's natural. If you're not sure that you're 100% confident on doing something, well, being timed or being put under pressure, it's going to feel abnormal. It's going to feel like you're not there yet, right? But this is how we get those feelings away. Let's get used to the pressure of being timed. That way we can maintain our calm, cool, and collectedness through the toughest problems and through the easiest ones so we can get as many points as possible. So, with that said, let me get the timer up and we'll get started here. We're going to go through 5 questions at a time, okay? We're going to go through, actually, to start off, we're going to do 3 back to back. To start off the first set, I'm going to do 3 back to back because I know that this is not our normal crew. This is not everybody in the program. We have some free folks here. So I'm going to only do 3 here and we'll go through all 3. Then in the next set, we'll do 5. So let me let Tyrese in and let me get this timer up. Booyah, booyah. 3, 2, and 1. Remember, do not give away the answer. Type ready when you're ready. When the time is up, if you need to take a guess, then take a guess at the end. But try your best, one step at a time, all the way through. Go. And looking at our final 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plug those answers in. What do we have here? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Plug those in, plug those in, plug those in. I want to see what we have here, my party people. What do we have? All right, cool. So let's go ahead and go into the next question here. But let me not do you guys dirty. Let me actually give you the answer here for this one. Let me just go ahead and do the math real quick in my head. So we got ourselves 447.85. I'll just grab a calculator super quick, not to mess up and help y'all out. Bam, bam, bam. And your answer here will be C. That is your correct answer. C is your correct answer. But again, the worry is not whether you got it right or wrong, is if you know how to get to C. We'll come back in a few moments to review question 1. Let's get to 2 and 3 here. Timer's on. Let's go. And again, just type ready when you're ready. Do not reveal your answer. All right, we still have about 50 seconds left here, but for those of you who are already finished, remember to go through the logic in your head. So every operation that you did on your piece of paper or in your head, justify it. Justify it. Ask yourself, why was it correct to do that operation and not the opposite operation or something else? Why is that correct? We got 30 seconds. I want you to be able to, again, talk to yourself about this. It's very important. 20 seconds here. Parker, I'm looking back for your comment 1 second. Lewis, I may have missed your message as well. Three, two, and one. There it is, my party people. There you are, there you are, there you are. So go ahead, fill those answers in for this question here. Fill your answers in, and I'll reveal the answer in a moment. All right, so Parker, I got your message on that. So let me go ahead and just talk about this fairly quickly here after this next problem. Or actually before this next problem. So for those of you that are in the program, just like you, Parker, I want to make sure you understand that when you're over here in the program, 1 second to go and get the right page up. Right when you log in, you have everything you need to get this done. So here, when you log in, you see that you have your number one math course here for the math basics. I see that we have not gotten in there yet for some of us that are saying that this may not be working out for them. You got to get in there, watch the video on how this works. It's right there when you log in. Watch it. Number two, you have your arithmetic reasoning math boot camp course. This is where all of your word problems are going to be. And if you want to practice what we're doing right now, that's going to be unit 1 for, again, general word problems. It is unit 1. So all you have to do is click start now when you're ready, and you'll see it right over here. Boom, general word problems, and you'll see everything you need. So this is going to be where you're going to practice your unit completion speed drill, your checkpoint, but you're also going to have casual practice that has literally video solutions for you right there once you try the problem out. So you got to make sure that you're using the resources that are available to you, because this program is legitimately lined up for you, scientifically proven. I have a master's degree in education. I'm here to make sure that you have everything you need to pass this test. So let's make sure that we're using the program the right way. And if you have any questions at all, make sure to reach out to me in any case. So next question coming up in 3, 2, or actually the answer here is going to be D, 111. But here we go. The next question in 3, 2, and 1. Yeah, Lewis, go ahead and send me a text now. I got your back. All right, looking at our final 10 seconds here. And that is time, my party people. That is time. That is time. What do we have? What do we have? Our final answer here is going to be A, 275.39. 275.39. Let's go and bring this back here and really review what we've got going on. So here we go. Out of these three questions, before we get into it, how are you feeling about these questions? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most confident, 1 being not confident at all. How are we feeling right now in terms of the problems that we've gone through so far? Feeling good so far, 9 to 10, 1, 7.5. So it's a little bit of a range. I did see a 1 in there. Hopefully you meant a 10. But if not, either way, be honest about where you are and how we can just make an approach to get better. You need to study decimals more. So let me just, Blake, that's cool. So if you feel like you need to handle decimals more, just kind of want to remind you, again, right back here, if you want to go ahead and practice those decimals in the program, really all you need to do is make sure that you log into the website and you're good. So let me just kind of go back for you. This is what's going to load up if you're in the program. This is the first thing you'll see. And when you click the math basics, you're going to get taken to a page with your math basics dashboard. So all you need to do, my party people, is just go ahead and watch the video on how the dashboard works, how you earn your check marks and get rid of those X's. And if you want to get better at decimals, right here, Unit 3, decimals. You want to get better at multiplying decimals, bam, you got everything. You got recorded lessons, on-demand recorded lessons. You have guided practice videos. You got worksheets, and then you have your ultimate speed drill at the end. And remember, you pass the speed drill to change that from an X, incomplete, to a green check mark. That's how you do it. So all you got to do is click whatever you need to do, okay? I need to learn how to multiply decimals. Let me click that guided practice. And now you have a nice, sweet little 7-minute video of me going through how to multiply decimals with you, how to subtract decimals, add them, whatever you need to do, it's all there for you. So I got to make sure that I am, just advertising what you have already bought. You're already in the program. Make sure to make use of everything you have, man. Seriously. So let's go ahead and get into it here. Perfect. Boom. And yes, algebra and geometry is literally all of the math knowledge is algebra and geometry. And then literally 4 units or 3 units in just the arithmetic reasoning is specifically geometry. And the rest is pretty much algebra. So it's all there. Every topic you can encounter on the ASVAB is there. So here's how we're going to get this one done. Let's start here and work our way back. Number 1 here. First things first, read the question. How much money does Charles have if Rebecca has $158.66? Cool. So what I'm saying here is, okay, I'm looking for Charles' money. So I can say Charles has blank dollars. Everyone, is that where you started the problem as well? Did you start the problem out by saying Charles has blank dollars? Or how much money does Charles have? Or Charles equals $ blank. Cool. So at the very least, with this first step, we should feel confident that we know what we're looking for. Then the question is, what are we given that might help us get to what we're looking for? Let's see. So when you read the story, you see that it says Rebecca and Charles realized that their total savings was short by $194.86. They actually needed a total of $628.91 to make the purchase. So this sounds very, very similar to the question we did prior, where the question was, hey, okay, it sounds like the story is saying Rebecca plus Charles, they're short. So here's another way that you could actually show this question. You could say that Rebecca plus Charles would be equal to the $628.91, but they don't actually have that total amount. They actually have that amount minus $194.86. Did anybody else show it that way? Where they said Rebecca plus Charles is the total amount of money, but you got to take away that $194.86 because they're short by that much money. And it's honestly the same exact thing as the other way when you think about it. Everybody, let me just show you. So if we're going over here, take a look. It's the same thing. Sharon, Michael, and the 153 equals all that. Quick question, everybody. If I wanted to put this 153.26 on the other side, what would I do to both sides to make that happen? What would I do to make that go on the other side? Yeah, I would subtract that on both sides, right? I would subtract the 153.26 on both sides. And that's exactly what would happen. If you subtracted it on both sides, look at what we have here. It's subtracted on the other side. So it's literally the same thing. You could say Rebecca plus Charles plus this equals the grand total. Or you can say that Rebecca and Charles together are almost at their goal. They're just short by the 194. So whatever this minus the 194 is, that's actually the amount that they have because they don't have this. You got to take that away from the total. So even if we didn't use that strategy, even if we didn't show it this way, can you still make sense out of it? Rebecca and Charles, they're short by this much money. So to see how much money Rebecca and Charles have, you start with the total that they should have and take away what they don't have. So yes or no, can we still wrap our heads around this one, even if it's not the exact way that we wrote it? Cool. Cool. And even if not, it's quite all right. Really what I'm going for is making sure that we can try to see things in more than one way to be able to build that confidence, again, more than one way. So here we go. Rebecca plus Charles equals all that. Everybody, whose money do we know we have? Whose money do we know we have? We know we have Rebecca. Rebecca has how much money exactly? Help me out. Right, 158.66. So we have 158.66 plus Charles, which is who we're looking for. And we can actually subtract this right now if we wanted to. We could. And we could try a little bit of mental math to really help us get this done pretty easy here. Because we can just say 628 minus 194. I mean, we could just go ahead and take away 200 and then add 6 back. That's really a good strategy to use. I could take away 200 and add 6 back. So 428 plus 6, 434. 434.91 minus 86, 434 and 5 cents. Right there. So we have 434 and 5 cents. Again, don't worry about it if it's with mental math or not. We can still get it done. It's all good, Blake. We're going to make those mistakes in the beginning, but hopefully, again, as we continue trying, we'll make less and less of those mistakes. So it's a good thing you're making the mistakes here and not on the ASVAB, because now that we have this, everybody, what are we supposed to do to both sides of this little equation to get the problem done? What are we supposed to do? And be specific here to what side. To what side? Right. We want to get rid of everything around Charles. We want to get Charles by himself. So what I'm going to do is take away what's around Charles. Take this away from both sides. Boom. And once we take care of this, that's gone. And we see that Charles equals, and we see here, we can, again, use some mental math again if you wanted to. So many different ways you can go about this. But just to appease the people that want to just do decimal subtraction straight up, sure, we can go ahead and start off by noticing that you actually have to borrow from everything. Because I can take 4 here to make 3, to make 10, to make 9, to make 15. Then 15 minus 6, that's going to be 9. 9 minus 6 is 3. 3 minus 8, oh, can't do that. 2 and 13. 13 minus 8 is 5. Then 2 minus 5, oh, got to borrow again. 12 minus 5 is 7. 3 minus 1 is 2. And you get yourself 275.39. But I just want to point out with the mental math there, that wasn't really mental math. That was a lot of borrowing, a lot of confusion. And that's why I really want to implore you and really suggest learning mental math for yourself. Anybody here used mental math on these problems with decimals and felt pretty confident about it? Has anybody used mental math with these decimals? Because again, we just proved that the answer is right there. We're good. So again, for those of you that did, keep up the great work, man. It's going to continue getting easier and easier and easier. If you haven't tried yet, I would recommend starting off by first learning how to handle decimals, all 4 operations, then trying mental math out. So do we want to go over the other questions? Do we feel better about all these questions, or would we like to go over them again? 1 or 2? You guys tell me. Do we move on or review question 1 or review question 2? If you would like number 1 real quick, essentially number 1, you have their grand total here. Together, it's all this money right here. So if they have this much and this much, really what you're doing, you can add these together, then subtract it from the 447. That would be the quick way to do it. Because if all 3 of them together, if Deb plus James plus Jeff equals 447.85, then all you would do is basically see that you have Deb with 899 and then James with 136.89. You add those together, nice and easy, and then you take it away from the grand total. So I'm going to just show the math real quick, but that's exactly how you would go about it. So you add these 2 together, and that'd be the same as 89 there, then take a penny back. So that would be, let's see, 226, then 235.88. So 235.88 plus Jeff equals 447.85. And then what you would do is you would subtract both sides by the 235.88, and boom, you would get yourself the correct answer. So there's the math in case anybody wanted to see that. I got you. I got your back, guys. So Jeff would then equal 221. I may have gotten something slightly wrong with the mental math here. Let me see real quick. 3 to 2. Should have been 225. There we go. 225.88. That's on me. Boom. Quick little solution there, but boom, we're good. So that'd be 221.97, and we're set there. And then for the floor levels question, I'll leave that still in view. For the floor levels question, what we have here, my party people, is we just started off from level 88. Up 3 means add 3. Up 16 means add 16. Down 5 means minus 5. And then up 9 means add 9. So from there, just a little bit of mental math. 88 plus 3 is 91. Plus 16 is 107. 107 minus 5 is 102. 102 plus 9 is 111. So then right there, 111, bam, done, and we're good. Any other questions on these, my party people? Any other questions, or are you ready for a 5-part drill set? Cool, yeah, Tablet, go ahead and ask the question here in the chat box. I got you. Yeah, the other way to solve number 3, again, is realizing that we really just need to take away from the total. You just needed to take away from the total. There's 2 different ways that I showed already in class, but if you'd like to get another way, just take a screenshot of it and then send it to me either tonight or in the morning, and I'll help you out with it. All right, so if you're still asking a question there, Tablet, go ahead and ask it, but I'm going to go ahead and proceed here and get into the next question here. So we're going to do, so we're going to go ahead and start with this one right there, and I'm going to get the timer up. And we're going to go through 5 questions, or not 5. Here we have time for another 3 or 4 back to back. And I'm going to shorten it to 2 minutes instead of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, since you are now used to the level of questioning here. Again, stopping the timer at 30 seconds left to make it 2 minutes. Again, we still have just about 20 seconds left here. Just about 20 seconds left. And that is time. Go, 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 go. All right. Yep. The correct answer here will be C, 89. The correct answer here will be C, 89. The way that we get there, if you want to take a quick screenshot, you start on level 94. Down 13 means minus 13. Then see we have up 6, so that would be add 6. Up 3, which would mean add 3. And then down 1, which means subtract 1. From there, boom, 81. Boom, 87. Boom, 90. Boom, 89. That's the final floor. Answer choice C is correct. Coming up next here, number 2 coming up here. Again, we're going through in just 2 minutes, so the timer ends at 30 seconds. Let's go. Hey, Abimail, great job there. I'm glad you did it with mental math. Again, keep giving it shots like that and you'll keep getting better. And looking at our final 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, plug in those answers. I'm going to reveal the answers in 10 seconds. Or plug the answer that you have in. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? So in this question, when you look at the situation here, what needs to be done is we need to go ahead and add everything up. But there's a key word here that you might have gotten tricked by, and it's the 1/3. So with this one fairly quickly here, in a few moments or less, what we have going on is right here. We see that Emily has this, Matt has that, George has this. But what we need to make sure we understand is that since we want the cost of the vacation, they want to bring their money together, but only have 1/3 of what they need. So even if you added all of these up, that's not enough. You add all of those up, you would have gotten all 3 of them together. So Emily plus Matt plus George, that's going to give you the 615.57, but that's not the answer. Because this says 1/3, you need to multiply this by 3 to go from 1/3 to the full vacation. Because again, if you are at 1/3, you multiply by 3 to get to 3/3 to get to the full amount. And so, boom, once you do that, then you're in a pretty good spot because you're going to get 1,846 and 71 cents, which is actually answer choice B. So the 1/3 had you sweating. Who here was able to overcome the any moment of uncertainty or self-doubt? with that 1/3? Who was able to overcome that? That's what I love hearing. That's why we do this. There we go. That's why we do this. We got to be able to read these problems and process them the right way and quickly. Let's get to this last one here. I'm going to give you another 2 minutes on this one. Then I want everybody to stay until the end because I want to wrap up the class and essentially show you what needs to be done next to guarantee your success, especially when it comes to working with decimals and when it comes to working with overall word problems. So here we go. Next one coming up. Actually, I'm not going to do that one. I'm doing this one. Go. So again, at the 30-second mark is where we will stop. 2 minutes. Go. Remember my party people, type ready when you're ready. We're going to reveal the answer in just 20 seconds here. And then we're actually going to do one more similar to this one. And I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do it. So get ready, stay on your toes. We have this one and one more. It's very similar to this one, but you're only going to get, again, 30 seconds. So in 10 seconds, get ready to give your answer here. All right, I'm going to reveal the final answer in 3. Give your answers here, 2. Final answer, 1. Answer is B, 55 steps left. This one's pretty straightforward because every single one of the steps were to the left. So you just have to add them all up to the left. So let's go ahead and get into another one here where you may have to do a little more work. So here, and go. 30 seconds. Let's get it. You have until the 2-minute mark to get this one done. Do not reveal your answer. Just type ready when you're ready. Just type ready when you're ready. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. How's that one? How's that one? How is that one compared to the other one? The party people? Was that one a little better? Was that one easier, harder? How was that one for you? Was a little more pressure for 30 seconds? Because the thing is, look, you knew the story of the problem. You knew what needed to be done. You were like, okay, just find the final position, and you're good. So let me just show you really quick. It's all good, Remy. It's all good. So let me show you really quick how this one, to get this one done. Really, what you're looking for is the relative ending position compared to the starting position. So if you start here, just kind of like balance out all the steps and see what happens. So this is one way to kind of think about it. If you want to do this quick, some people do it like this. Some people write 15 steps to the left. So they'll go 15 left, 17 to the right, 12 to the right, and 12 to the left. And what some people will do is they'll count anything to the left as negative and anything to the right as positive, which you could do that. You could technically go ahead and do that, but you would be doing this. You would say negative 15 plus 17 plus 12 minus 12, which if you go in order, you would go, okay, positive 2, 14, then back down to 2. But if you noticed, you can do a problem like this. If the numbers were different, you could still do this fairly quickly if you noticed that if you go 12 to the right and 12 to the left, you end up right where you started. Everybody, is that true or false? If you go to the right and to the left, the same number of steps, you end up right where you started. Boom. So if you took a second to analyze, bam, that's already done for you. Then if you take 15 to the left, 17 to the right, that's a difference of 2 steps. Which direction do you end up with those 2 steps? Because 15 and 17, they both go 15 out, but the 17 to the right means you have 2 extra steps to the right. So you can instantly tell yourself that you end up 2 steps to the right, and that's answer choice C right there. So there's different ways to do different problems. Again, as long as you know how to deal with numbers. If you're familiar with dealing with negatives, you would see that the plus 12 minus 12 cancels out immediately before you even lay it out on a piece of paper. And that's what I want to make sure you understand as ASVAB test takers in terms of putting yourself in the best position to succeed. Get the little things done the right way, build up your confidence, and then show yourself what you got at the end of the day. So with that said, my party people, let's go ahead and finish off the class here. So first, if you are in my full program, pay attention very carefully. If you're not in the program and you're interested in it, pay attention. And I'm going to show you how to sign up in a bit. But for those of you who are in the program, pay very, very close attention. So 2 things here. One, I want to make sure that you understand how to go ahead and find the decimal practice to make sure that you can handle decimal word problems. Today, we also worked with negative numbers, and I'm going to show you how to get there too. So first things first, as a reminder, let me go ahead and just show my screen real quick again. For those of you that are here and in my program, what you're going to do for homework is this. Go into your Math Basics course, and this is going to have everything you need for working with decimals and working with negatives. You're just going to go down to Unit 2 for negatives, adding, multiplying, and dividing, or adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing right here. And then you have Unit 3 is decimals right there. And you have everything you need for adding and subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and your speed drills that you need to pass to complete the unit. You get the check marks for A, B, and C, then the entirety of Unit 3 turns into a check mark. That's simple. Now, when you're ready to go into the arithmetic reasoning, when you're ready to do the general word problems that we did today, easy enough. You click right here. This is going to change by the end of the week with the new progress dashboard. But for right now, click the start button, and then all you got to do, my party people, all you got to do is click General Arithmetic Reasoning Word Problems, Section 1, and you go ahead and watch those recorded lessons. Tonight's class will be recorded and put up there first thing in the morning. And when you're ready to take the checkpoint to see what you got, boom, you got 20 minutes to answer 10 questions, do your best, and see how many stars you can earn. And so with that said, again, for those of you in the program, that's how you're going to handle it. It's going to be super easy as long as you just follow my directions. Go into the program, log into the website, and have fun. Seriously, there's introduction videos and videos on showing how everything works. So don't hesitate to ask me any other questions that you have, because I want to make sure that you succeed at the end of the day. So with that said, for everybody here, how are you feeling? Was this class worth it for you or not? Do you feel like today's class was something that you can grow from and learn from? Is today's class something you feel like you can grow and learn from, man? Yeah, right on. Because tomorrow we're going to have brand new questions as well. We're going to throw in more questions in terms of those modulus questions that I talked about. Like, hey, what day of the week will it be 150 days from now? Or what month will it be 100 months from now? There's some great questions that we can ask with those. So get ready for those tomorrow. On top of that, more of these and maybe one other surprise type of question that we'll be going over. So again, if you're in the program, it's the same time tomorrow. I'll send you the link via email and text. Anybody who's having trouble with their email and text messaging, just let me know. Shoot me a text, 567-698-8867. Shoot me a text. That's how you reach me. Just include your name in it if I don't have your number saved already, and we're good to go. So go ahead and shoot me a text. But for those of you that were here and you're not in the program, this is going to be your opportunity to understand how awesome it is and how to sign up nice and easy with a nice little discount code too. So if you're in the program, have yourself a good evening, or if you want to stay and hype up the program, if you're in it for a while, just go ahead and let people know how you've been doing in the program. So here we go. For those of you that, again, just stay to the end, just answer these questions straight up and quickly, yes or no, in the chat box. Number 1, do you feel like test anxiety stops you from doing your best? So mainly, do you feel like just the pressure of being timed often gets in the way of you doing your best? Yes or no? And it is expected. It's a lot of people, right? It's a common issue, and it's no doubt why that 30 people already said yes to that. Number two, do you blank out on word problems? Do you sometimes feel like you get distracted without understanding truly what's going on? You know the words, but for some reason you're just blanking out often. That happens. We can help you with that. That's exactly what this program is for. Number three, do you hate guessing and hoping for the best? Do you find yourself running out of time and you're in a position where you have to take a guess and you have to just Christmas tree because you have 2 minutes left, 10 questions. And so you're sitting here like, oh crap, I got no shot. I got to just Christmas tree it. So if you want to get rid of that feeling, this is exactly where you want to be. And lastly, do you kind of feel like you're kind of alone through this? Meaning it's kind of up to you to figure out what you have to study, how to get it done, how to know when you're ready. It's all up to you. There's no real solid foundation for you right now. And if you feel that way, again, if you answered yes to at least 2 of these questions, this program is for you. If you answered yes to all 4 of these questions, I can pretty much tell you you're going to succeed with us. So here's what's up. If you feel like this session improved your chances of passing in terms of giving you a basis to work off of and expand on and get better from, then I want you as a student. I want people who want to work hard and who see better for themselves. Number 2, if you feel like more of this could work for you, if we did classes on proportions, geometry, distance rate time problems, paragraph comprehension, and word knowledge, we have all of those. And so if you wish someone had your back until you passed, yeah, this is it. There's no other way to put it. So with that said, my party people, look, you can get the ASVAB score that you want and the military job you deserve. It's not reserved for those that are special. We all have the opportunity to make improvements and get better at life. And that's what this is always about, making the improvement that you need to make little by little, as long as it takes to get the job you want. Because if you're going to serve in the military, if you're going to serve our country, you might as well do it in the job that you want. So I've had hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of students. Actually, we reached 1,200, I think it was last month, of total students that have passed with our program. And so we're just forever grateful, honestly, for how many students have been willing to just shout out the program. And I want you to be on here next. I truly do. So long story short with the program, it's not just about the classes, because I'm sure you saw that you're here, you're having fun, you're asking questions, but you also get access to all of the on-demand recordings. But it doesn't stop there. Every single course that you're going to get for the word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, math knowledge, arithmetic reasoning, general science, it's all meant to take you from where you are to where you need to be, with guided practice, with fun little mini practices that have video solutions, with speed drills to make sure that you are ready for the test. All of it's there in combination with each other to make sure that you're always making progress. Step-by-step solutions and video solutions available. And number 3, you can text me whenever you need help. So that's what makes this program amazing. It's not just some like, oh, hey, you're going to pay me $100 per hour and you can't hit me up after. No, it's actually, I'm only going to charge you less than $40 a month. You get 24 hours of classes every month, plus 400 hours of on-demand video and 15,000 questions, and you get to text your tutor. So that's really how it works. And that's why the prices have to go up next month, because we have over 700 active students, and we got to make sure that we can give the attention to everybody. So that's how it's going to get done. But if you want to be part of the few people that are in the program, they get all the help they need to raise their scores, this is how you do it. You're going to go ahead and go to that first link right there, asvab.info/classes. Then you'll click sign up and raise your score, pick a plan, and sign up. It's that easy. So let me go and actually give you the link here in the chat box too. So here is the link right there. So here's how it works, my party people. You can go ahead and use the code Monday at checkout right here. Make sure to redeem it. And all you have to do, redeem it, click redeem, and then pay. And that's it. Super easy. Just pick between monthly and yearly. And the code Monday gives you a sweet discount on the monthly, $8 off forever, every month. Or if you want to pay all up front and you know that this will work for you, I'm going to give you a massive discount. I'm going to take a $50 off your entire order. The full year is already 60% off. And I'm giving you an extra $50 off on top of that massive discount. So for those of you that are super serious and want to just take this as far as you can, or you know that you just want to pass now and get a promotion later, the full year is for you. Totally recommend that all the way. But with that said, my party people, Remy, love the shout out there. I know you've been getting better and better every day. But at the end of the day, super easy to raise your score with me. I do really anything that you need me to do. Any advice that you need, any customization to your study plan, whatever you need, I got you. But at the end of the day, it's really all up to you. If you put in the time and you ask questions, you'll pass. If you don't do that, I can't guarantee you success. So, with that, Remy, good luck on that for sure. Debbie, looking forward to having you. And we had a couple of problems about you today, so or Deborah, but we called you Deb. But welcome in. And thank you, Remy. I appreciate it. Again, my job is to make sure to be as informative as I can. I remember being in school and I wished I had teachers that would take their time, answer questions, even if it felt like the entire class was waiting on that one student. What if I was that one student, right? And so that's really how I teach. My philosophy is making sure that your questions are answered. Like you feel comfortable. You feel like you're better than you were when you started. Whether it's just by one little piece of information or by a whole concept better, just want to make sure that you feel better than you did when you started. So that's how I kind of teach. So with that, kind of looking at these questions here, I see a couple of private questions. Is the monthly a contract? I get that question so often. No, I hate contracts. It's month to month. It's a subscription, just like Netflix or Hulu. Cancel whenever. Seriously. Just cancel before the next billing date and you won't get charged. If you try to, if you forget, can't help you there. Just make sure to cancel it when you're done and you're done. And the year is a pay once and you never pay again. Also, didn't mention this before, but as a bonus, for those of you that do sign up for the year, I am going to be releasing a lifetime membership in the future. And that's going to be coming out again next month. And that, for those of you that are already in the full year, I'm only going to charge you one additional month of the program, and you actually get lifetime coverage all the way through. So again, if you are someone who might think that they want to use this for as long as they need to get all the promotions, then you may want to consider the full year, because upgrading to lifetime when it comes out will be less than $70, and you get, again, lifetime access. With that said, yeah, Abimail, great. Yeah, love having you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, and yep, just when you're signed up, just go ahead, let me know. There's an easy 5-step process to checking into the program, and once you're in, you're in. It's so easy. Same thing with you, Jalen. Perfect. And I'm going to check those emails right now. Jasmine, that's exactly why I do what I do. I'm not sure if it's Mikal or Michael. It might sounds like Michael. Michael Whitney. So if today's your first day, hopefully you enjoyed it. Really hope that you were able to get something out of it. Debbie, I'm glad. And I'm going to read this private message here. Can I go from monthly to annual? Currently monthly, but I want to go to annual. Just wondering. Absolutely. So go ahead and shoot me a text letting me know that you are currently in the monthly and you'd like to upgrade to the year. Because what I'll do is I'll honor this discount. And if you've been in the program for more than 1 month already, I will also discount 1 month of what you've paid. So if you've been in here for more than a month, I'll go ahead and discount an extra month off. So you know who you are. Just go ahead and shoot me a text. My number is 567-698-8867. I got you. And so here, I'm already enrolled in the program for a month. As I'm going to take my test for the second time. If I'm enrolled for the year, after seeing this discount, is it possible I can cancel that? Pass on the 23rd. I would just keep the monthly if you're going to take the test soon anyway. No need to spend the extra money if you just want to take it right now and be out. Just keep the monthly. You're fine. Michael, I'm glad you liked it. And let me know if that's the correct way to pronounce your name, if it's Michael. Obviously, I'm sure we're both aware that that's not how you typically spell it, but it seems like that's how the pronunciation is going. Mason, I take the test February 22nd. Should I do some practice tests like 2 weeks before? Yeah, Mason, for sure. And Mason, get ready, because now that we're officially done with the curriculum workbook, with all the different types of problems, now we're going to be able to create unlimited practice tests. So we're going to cut this out of the recording, but this is going to be a surprise for everybody. At the mid to end of February, we're going to create unlimited practice tests. It's going to be the most mind-blowing thing in the world, just because of how much effort we've put into this. We've put in 7 months of work on this, and you guys are now going to benefit from it. You're going to have the ability to have literally 100 different ASVAB practice tests right there in front of you, and you just go through each one in order, and you're going to see your scores either improve, stay the same, or decline. but you'll be able to see a score report and a texted and emailed score report every single time, letting you know what questions you got right, what you got wrong, and what topics they were, so you know exactly where to focus your attention after that. So those are coming free for everybody, but I'm going to make that included in the next update to the subscription and the program. Yeah, Anna, so classes are going to be Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays every week, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. We only do the free class on Mondays, the sample class, and then we do the high gear classes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Hey, Akila, glad to have you here. So Jordan, the math knowledge is actually going to be coming out. It's coming out on Thursday latest. I'm actually debating putting out the math knowledge because we're just editing the final introduction video. That's all we have to do. We're literally just editing the introduction video. We got the coding and the software and everything all up and running. We just need to have our editing done, and we're posting it. So if it comes out before Thursday, I'm still going to email and text everybody, but I'm going to make sure to communicate that with you. We're just finalizing some pieces. That's all it is. So it is Michael. Okay, cool. Or Mike Cal. Either way, I think I may have gotten it. Joshua, what do I do if I finish the math basics? So Joshua, once you finish the math basics, you will go straight into the ASVAB Arithmetic Reasoning Bootcamp course. So Joshua, let me just go ahead and check your stuff here. So Joshua, you still have a little bit to go here for the math basics. I see that you got a lot of these tags complete. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You've got yourself 12 completed. So congrats to you, my man. Let's go. Keep putting in that work. Hey, Mason, can't wait either. Anna, so if you sign up for the monthly, will you be able to join the class Monday through Wednesday? Absolutely, Anna. So the monthly and the yearly are the same ones. The yearly just gives you a ridiculous discount. I think it's like a 65 or 70% discount when you do all the math versus paying month to month for 12 months. Hey, Mason, I'm glad you came in. So I'll see you tomorrow. Again, just make sure to text me if you have any questions at all. Phone number is right there. I got you. And for everybody here in the chat still, let me go ahead and post this here. Perfect. And Damien, congrats on signing up. Damien, reach out to me directly. Shoot me a text because I'll be back in office first thing tomorrow morning, and I'm going to check in on you to make sure that everything's starting off nice and smooth. And YouTube, for those of my party people here watching on YouTube, boom, there it is. So there we go. There's a link in the chat box, my party people, for those of you on YouTube, and you can use the code Monday at checkout. If you're talking about sharing accounts in the chat box, I really wouldn't recommend that because your card information is stored on your account. So sharing your account might not be a good idea. Plus, I only allow one person to use an account at one time to make sure it's fair to everybody else. Oh, that's right, Michael. We're doing plenty of word problems tomorrow, even more than we did today, because tomorrow is part 2. We'll refresh on the basics of what we did today tomorrow. But then the majority of class, like an hour and a half, almost the whole 2 hours, straight up practice sets, drill sets, speed drills all day. So that's what I'm really excited for, because you guys are going to get a really good look at a lot of different unique problems. Perfect. So you guys, looks like we're all doing well. Let me check to see for those of us that signed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, there's a lot of people. Okay, cool. So for those of you that are done signing up and you've registered for the full program, again, just make sure to check your email and text with the welcome text and welcome email. But then when you're ready, log back into your account, get straight into the math basics, and get to work. It's the easiest way to get started, okay? So got to make sure you have everything you need. But again, if you have any questions at all, I got your back. So if anybody here is in the chat still signing up right now, just let me know. I'll go ahead and stick around for the next 5 minutes to make sure that you're taken care of. If you don't want me to hang on or you're just browsing around until a later date, just remember that this discount code expires tonight at midnight. So tonight at midnight is when it expires, and it won't be up again until I decide to do this again. Today's the last day that you can get the program at this price. Then it's going to be regular price until the end of the week, and then the price will go up next Monday. So again, I don't want you guys to miss out on the already incredibly discounted prices because you're getting all of the upgrades and updates for free. But if you wait, then you're going to be paying for all the updates. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be doing more general word problems, and then you can always check the group tutoring schedule to see all of the classes that we have coming up. So for January, we have we're going to have a lot of fun here because we have rate word problems, a 4-part rate word problem spectacle, pretty much. So 2 straight weeks of rate word problems, 8 total hours, and then we're going to have percent basics and percent tax and discount problems at the end of the month. So we're still going to have 4 total weeks of classes here in January, even though we took our little winter break. Yeah, great stuff there. And again, any other questions, just let me know. Looks like everybody here is good to go. So for the 8, now 9 people that signed up right there, congratulations. Remember to reach out to me. My number is 567-698-8867. Reach out to me directly once you've settled into the program. Let me know how things are going. And I'm going to be sending out, again, an email and a text once all the brand new updates that you're getting for free are live. So again, my name is Coach Anderson, my party people. Our next class is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I hope to see you there. If you want to learn more about the program, more than you did today, just again, feel free to reach out to me. There's my phone number. You can also go to duranlearning.com and see all the information there. You guys have a blessed evening. All right, my party people. Love you guys. Let's ace the ASVAB, and I hope to see you soon. Let's go. Cheers, guys.